Some news just came out while I was doing a video this morning about Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, raving about the Spark token, the Spark project. And Spark put out some information. I want to read this real quick, and then we're going to talk about TVL. I'm going to explain what it is and why it's a big deal. Spark isn't just growing, it's compounding. This comes from their official account. In the last 12 months, the TVL, or total value locked, has almost doubled. The SLL allocations jumped from 1.3 billion to 3.6, and Sky's DAI lending has increased 9.6 times. What's driving all this growth? So I want to talk about total value locked because I don't think people understand exactly what this is. This is what it is. In crypto, total value locked comes into play when it comes into DeFi, decentralized finance. It's a key metric in the world of cryptocurrency, particularly in the realm of DeFi. It represents the total value of digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and liquidity pool tokens that are locked or staked in a particular DeFi platform or decentralized application, or a DApp. This metric essentially indicates the overall size of the activity for a DeFi protocol. So let me explain something. When we're talking about this, and this is an extremely new project, and it's already done really well since I brought it to you on the channel for free, right? I said, hey, look, this is something I invested in. This is why. I gave it a lot of reasons. As of right now, the market cap of this coin is around $140 million. Okay, that's if you add up all the tokens that are out in the public right now, multiply them by the price, that's what it comes to. Like I said here, the TVL is massive compared to the market cap, meaning there are a lot of people that have purchased the token and or they have stable coins in this system tied up, locked up, that are well over 10 times the current market cap of the project. Okay, now let's go in a little deeper here. Now, why does TVL matter? Okay, and I'm reading from the internet so that I can get this straight. I don't screw up my words. It's really easy when you're live. First off, trust and adoption. A high TVL suggests strong investor confidence and a healthy platform, indicating user belief in the platform's security and reliability. You guys know that I do not like puff pieces and like fairy tales that a crypto is going to go to a. I still can't get over the most people that say this crypto is going to $100 a token. Well, that would make the market cap bigger than Bitcoin. Okay, most people couldn't even explain to you what a market cap is, let alone abide by those rules when they're putting out these theories. Okay, so a high TVL, which Spark token has, suggests strong investor confidence. Then liquidity. TVL, total value locked, helps measure the liquidity available on a platform, with higher total value locked generally indicating deeper liquidity pools and better trading conditions. And project growth. Increasing TVL, like the Spark token said, it's doubled in this last 12 months. Allows for a simple comparison of different DeFi protocols and blockchains, revealing which are attracting the most capital and user engagement. And in my personal opinion, I believe you're going to see that increase even more over the days coming weeks. Matter of fact, if any of you own SPK, the token, can you guys let me know? Type it down below in the chat for me. If you don't own any, say none. I'm just curious how many people watch something about a token that they don't own anything about. That's what I'm always watching. Okay, so how is TVL calculated? The calculation of TVL involves summing up the market value of all digital assets currently locked in a protocol's smart contracts. This calculation takes into account both the number of tokens locked and their current market price, typically expressed in US dollars for easy comparison. So it's important to understand that when you see projects like this that are coming out, don't shy them away because they're new, although you shouldn't throw all your money into anything. That's just, I think, incredibly stupid. But like I brought up with Kernel DAO, Kernel, it's doing incredibly well today, right? I've talked about Dia, being that they're an oracle for Ripple, where Ripple could have used Chainlink, but they don't want to. These smaller companies are starting their business models, learning the lessons from these bigger market cap companies. And a lot of them, just so you know, they actually used to work for the bigger ones, and then they leave and they start their own company. So, you've heard the term type 1. If you've heard, this is the wild, wild west of crypto. You know what people fail to explain in that theory is that, let me give you an example. What you're experiencing right now is akin to if you had the opportunity to invest in telecom stocks in the mid 90s. How many, type 10 if you wish you would have had that opportunity, the foresight to say, hey, telecom's huge. And it's not because telecom companies were big, just starting out. What was happening was telecom, the industry was going through some growing pains. It was moving from base stations in your home and in your business to mobile. And so that shakeup of the industry, like what you're seeing right now with blockchain, that's the shakeup in the finance sector. You are experiencing right now. You have the opportunity right now to learn as much as you can about DeFi, decentralized finance. That's why me and Dylan produce that course on DeFi, and the one we're releasing starting in, I think, in a day or two, on the staking. It is going to change your life if you pay attention to it, because and I'm not joking. Everyone for years has talked about cash flow, and they directly correlate that to real estate. Please understand what I'm about to show you in the next handful of weeks is going to be no joke magic internet money, but it's not magic. It's based off of knowledge, skills, and ability. And I'm going to give you guys that information because for the first time ever, you're not going to have to wait around for a bank to give you 0.5%, some measly joke that doesn't keep up with inflation. Crypto yields right now in staking, restaking, and yield farming are blowing inflation away. And it's really, really important that you understand that. This is a whole new world. And what's happening right now, behind the scenes, banks, hedge funds, private equity are trying to buy up as much as they can using your pension funds, but they're going to keep a lion's share because they're going to be the smart ones. Well, I want you to be the smart one. I want you to get all the yields, whether that be learning how to run your own node, which if you know a lot about running nodes, it takes a lot of work in the sense you got to make sure you have uptime 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's some handful of things. And like with Ethereum, I think, is Ethereum node still 32F? Well, a lot of people have been priced out of that. But if you would have started in a node a long time ago, and that's why Ethereum's blown up in price, because so many institutions bought ETH. There's an institution right now buying $117 million worth of ETH a day. Does that impress you? Type yes or no if that impresses you. $117 million worth of Ethereum are being purchased per day right now by a specific company. And yet most people could care less. They just want to see, who won their favorite sports team win. This revolution is bigger than the telecom boom. It's bigger than the dot-com boom. It's bigger than the last real estate boom, or the one in 2000 and this one combined. And a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines. This is the time to study. You're like, people say generational wealth, whatever. I mean, I don't, people talk about it like it's a fairy tale. Most people say, oh, I'm going to create generational wealth. And I'm like, well, it's hard to explain. How do I explain it? I lost a business partner friend because he believed smoked opium, and listened to YouTubers that had maybe $20,000 in the game, and they knew less than his own business partner. But it's because he'd rather live in a fantasy than reality. And he would come to me and have these crazy, this guy's saying this is going to this much. I'm like, no, it's not. It'll happen, but in like 20, 30 years. Like, just here, let's focus on this. Like, grind. And I know it sounds funny, I'm going to make yield farming sexy. Because if you want to be like Warren Buffett, you invest like Warren Buffett. Where's all of Warren Buffett's money right now? Can you guys just take a guess? Type it down below. Where is most of Warren Buffett's money right now? And once you realize that is what it takes to make money, it's not all in cash. It's in a cash equivalent. Because cash in and of itself doesn't make money, right? It's in treasuries and bonds. And so he has more in that right now than ever before. You don't just store cash, you store cash equivalents that make a higher rate of interest than what your savings account makes you or your money market account. I know people that have money market accounts that are just super stoked, like, oh my gosh, I'm making money. I'm like, no, you're not. You're not even keeping up with inflation. As a matter of fact, the banking system is intended, no matter what interest rates you're at, no matter what they're at, I don't care if they're at 1% or 6%, they're not keeping up with inflation. Type yes if you agree with that or you understand it. Please get this to your head. But right now, you have the opportunity to get paid to uphold networks, to strengthen networks. I hope you guys pick learning as much about yield farming as possible. And don't do it when it's super cool, when the people on CNBC tell you. Like, be a trailblazer. Like, that's how I got to where I am, in a truck with a piece of cardboard. No, I'm just joking. I do more than that. All right. With that being said, I thank you so much for watching. I'm excited about Spark. I think it's an incredible project. I think a lot of people are going to see it. And I just wanted to be, I raced it out there because I wanted to be the first YouTuber. There was a couple really small channels that talked about it a couple weeks before me, but I wanted to get it out to you. I think it's exciting to be the first to the action. All right. With that being said, the Economic Ninja is out.